It's another Friday, and here we are with another episode of I Feel Fat Today. Thank you for joining. I don't have an intro for the podcast today, at least not a video one, because I have a great guest, an awesome conversation, and I want to get right into it. But first, please subscribe to us on YouTube. Our numbers are going up. We're reaching people. I'm posting. I got full video episodes. I got shorts, clips from the podcast on YouTube. So subscribe there and you can watch the full video episodes, like, comment, subscribe, all the stuff. Listen to us on Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. Follow us on social media at I Feel Fat Today. You can follow me, your host, Kelly Taylor, at Hello, This is Kelly. And we got some good stuff. If you want to send us an email, you can find us at ifeelfattoday@gmail.com. If you want some advice, we've answered some emails already, and they're a lot of fun. I think I'm good at giving advice, so go ahead and do that. And I don't think I'm forgetting anything else. I just want to get into it. I think you guys are going to really like this episode with my guest. We talk prison food. We go into the creative side of commissary snacks, and let me tell you, I learned a lot, and it was really fun. So without further ado, please welcome my guest, Geo Perez. Action, we're live.
You?
Oh, that looks crooked as hell. Let me fix that.
What's up, buddy? What's up, buddy? What you got there? Oh, you got a little treat? A little toothbrush?
Oh yeah.
A little greenies?
Don't do anything.
Yeah, I know. It's just, dude, I feel like most dog food is just scams.
Oh my God, it's all a
just eat
scam.
anything. Like dogs in Dominican Republic eat like the scraps from dinner.
No,
So it's just,
truly.
like, rice, like basically they eat human food
Yeah.
and they survive.
No, truly. Well, Finn is basically eating human food because we, they got us, man. We're white people that pay a lot of money for dog food.
Yeah.
He used to get shit. He used to get like Little Caesars bullshit. Now
Yeah.
he gets like farmer's dog fancy.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like real food. But I just want the little guy to be around for a long time, you know?
Yeah, I feel like that dog food that they give, like that canned shit, could not be good for dogs.
No, there's no way. You know what's funny? He still kind of has it, but he had this like crazy cough. Where I was like, is something wrong with him? And then
Was he vaping?
It sounded like he literally sounded like he had
Dog's
vape lung.
vaping.
Truly, he sounded like he had vape lung. And I switched his food over, and the cough like essentially went away. Like he'll sometimes get it, like you might even hear it, but it's crazy. I don't know, man. Dogs are just like us.
Yeah. And
Crazy.
then they have like their version of fast food. Which
Yeah.
is most pet food.
Most
and
pet
it's like even
food.
dry food. I'm like, what is that?
I know.
Like, what do they? It's like they dry meats and scraps from like vegetables, and then make these little pellets. And I'm like, that can't be healthy.
I don't even think it's just vegetables. I think it's like animal bones.
Yeah.
It's like shit, and also like plastic.
Yeah, like solidified like beef broth or something. Just the bottom of the barrel shit.
The worst kind. And I feel like like my parents' dogs, that's all they eat. My mom's not spending extra money on the dog's food, which like I get, you know.
I didn't grow up with pets, so I had a pit bull once for like 3 months. It was a puppy, little puppy, named Monty. Shout out to Monty. And I was kind of like running around the streets, so like my siblings were kind of taking care of it.
Yeah.
My mom's not a pet person. She's like OCD clean. So she looks at it like, this dog is just going to dirty and fuck up my house.
Yeah.
So I remember one time I came home like coked out, and I was like, I'm going to go in the shed and just do coke in the shed. And I go in there and Monty's in there. Like they just threw him out in the shed because he was barking too much.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of felt bad. I was like, oh, fuck. I closed the door right away.
Yeah.
But then he just started barking. I was like, dude, I don't want to be around this dog while I'm coked out right
Yeah,
now. I
no.
feel weird. I want to be alone.
It feels weird.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to start telling the dog my whole life story and shit.
I'm just glad dogs can't talk, because like dogs have seen people do so many drugs.
Dogs
Have
see the
seen people.
craziest shit.
Yeah, dogs have seen people murder people.
Yeah, murder. Like they just seem like they like the wife murder the husband.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
just can't use them as character witnesses or anything.
Yeah. Isn't it funny, or I don't know if it's funny, but like a husband will kill, or like a guy will kill his whole family, but like not the dog.
Yeah, I mean, because that's his only friend.
Yeah.
It's truly
What
a
the
man's
dog
best friend.
do? The dog isn't a dependent.
Yeah.
Aside from some kibble. Speaking of dog food, you went to prison.
Yes.
So that's basically
for
what
dog
you
food,
ate.
for selling heroin.
Yeah, for dog food.
Dog food's, if you don't know this, heroin is called dog food in the streets.
Listen, I'm white. I'll believe you.
Yeah, no, I swear to God, that's
Oh,
not even
really?
a joke. It's not a joke.
It really is called
It's
dog
called
food.
dog food. Like, I got that dog food.
Damn.
Or
So-
they'll get cute with it. It's like, yo, you got that Alpo, you got that Iams and stuff like that. Because like even the cops know right now it's called dog food.
yeah. Oh shit.
Well, this was back. I don't know if they call it something else now, but this was back like 2013, 14 when I was still selling heroin.
Yeah. So
I
you
think
were
I
like,
stopped 2013 actually. In 2014 I was already done. I got my associates from Suffolk Community College
hell yeah,
in
shout out.
broadcasting, and then right after my graduation, my daughter was like, about to turn 1, and I was like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah,
Stop selling
we're
drugs.
done with this.
But I didn't stop doing them, and that's where I fucked up.
Not fully out of the game. So when you were selling, were you getting high on your own supply, as they say?
Oh, 100%.
Chowing down on the dog food?
I was eating them that Alpo, and it was because like that, and that's the reason. The reason I started selling heroin was because I would always sell like coke, pills, weed, like lighter stuff, and heroin wasn't around like that.
Right.
And then I was addicted to pills. While I was like, I always sold pills, but then when I turned 18, I got cut in my neck and had in my hand too, and I had to get surgery. And
In a fight?
yeah, I got into a fist fight, and then a dude pulled out a box cutter, cut my neck, cut my hand, it ripped the tendon in my index.
Yeah.
So I had to get surgery for that. And then
Sorry about him.
he's good. And then he it's actually like a fidget toy. Like I had to
Yeah.
send him.
He knows you got the dog food. So
Yeah, he smells that Alpo on me. But he so I was
you got into a fight.
yeah, I got into a fist fight, and then I got morphine for the first time in the hospital.
Ooh.
So I've always been around opiates, but I was too scared to take pills because like it wasn't like weed where because I'm like, yo, if I take too much, it's too late.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna find out a half hour later that I'm overdosing.
Yeah.
And then when the doctor gave it to me, I was like, oh, this is fucking amazing. Like I was just sleeping most of the time. I was in the hospital for like 2 days and just slept most of that and just would wake up feeling great. And then they sent me home with some like perks and stuff like that. And for a while I was just doing them here and there. And then
Isn't it always how it starts?
yeah,
Here and there?
yeah. It was be here and there, like, cause I think I was on pain management for like 4 months after the surgery, and then I stopped, and I never got withdrawals that time. I stopped, but since I always sold them every once in a while, I'd be like, take a little perk here,
Yeah.
and then it got to the point where I was taking like 12, those Roxy 30, the 30 milligram blues. I was
Yeah.
taking 12 at a time.
Whoa, Geo.
Yeah, it was insane. I remember I bought like 12 from my boy once. Like we were gonna go to the city to pick up to re-up, and he had pills, and I was just like, yo, I'm gonna come through, grab them, and he sees me I'm like, oh, you got something to drink? So in his mind, he thought I was gonna maybe like take 1 or 2,
Yeah,
and
pop.
he saw me grab everything he handed to me, pop them in my mouth, and he just looked at me. He's like, holy shit! He's like, that's not gonna fuck you up.
Did you mean to do that?
Yeah, I literally, and we drove to the city. I drove while on, I don't know, I can't do the math, but
Yeah.
a shit ton of milligrams of Roxicet.
Damn. So like in a given day, you could take like, you would probably have like maybe 30 perk 30s in a day.
No, because I think like with the 12, I'm good for the day.
Yeah. Okay. That's like a day's dose.
Yeah, and then I started sniffing them because I was like, oh, I can get more bang for my buck. And
It's all about innovation.
Yeah. Dude, people like there's some shit called parachuting where you crush up the pill and you put it in like a little piece of toilet paper and then you just drop it into your mouth.
Whoa.
So like the powder doesn't get stuck in your
Yeah.
mouth.
Yeah.
And it's just like the craziest shit. I've seen people smoke them out of a tin foil. Like it's like they're fucking smoking opium or some shit.
Yeah.
And they'll just burn the blues. And I'm like, no, I'd rather sniff them.
Yeah.
I could like taste the drip sometimes.
Yeah.
I remember what it tastes like.
Yeah, I bet. And like, there's also the ritual to the crushing. into the lining.
Yeah, I had my routine every morning. So like taking the pills, eventually like it was hard to find pills. Like all those doctors started getting busted. Like I had doctors in Nassau, Suffolk. You pay them, $150, and they'll give you a prescription for 120 blues. And I had a couple doctors that I would go to.
Yeah.
And once they started getting busted, it was hard to find pills. And I would just call everybody I know. Like, yo, can you find this? Can you find this? And there was always this one guy who would just be like, nah, I got nothing, but, I can get you a bag of dope. And I'll get offended at first. I'm like, get the fuck out. Like, I'm not a dope head. Like, I'm good. If you can't find pills, whatever. And
my
I would
shit's
go through
legal.
Yeah. I was like, I want shit that a doctor could give me.
Yeah.
Even though they're giving people morphine.
Yeah, but even if
shit.
you're going out, and I don't know, given the time frame here, like how popular pressed pills were. I don't know if pressed pills is a new thing, but when you're going outside the doctor and you're just going to like, hey, like you got any bullshit, it could be pressed, which is really dangerous.
Yeah, and this is before, like when I was in pills, fentanyl wasn't really around like that.
That's new.
I've gotten sold like the Oxycontin ones, the OC, I would take like 380s.
Okay.
To get high. So that's 240 milligrams of OC, and then it got to a point where I was peeling them, crushing them up, and then when they made it where you can't crush them up, I just still crush them up and just eat them. So it just dissolves faster. I was just doing everything to try to get more high.
Just as fast as possible.
Yeah, I'm like, what's going to get me the highest, quickest?
Yeah.
And once I couldn't find pills anymore, one day I just folded. I was like, I was too sick. Because before I just go through the withdrawals until I found pills. And then one day I was just like, fuck this shit. I got like 2 bags of dope. I did that 1 bag, and it felt like I took 12 Roxasets.
It was the high you knew and loved.
And it was a wrap after that. I would still do pills because it was like in my mind, I'm like, oh, this is too strong.
Yeah.
And then I was still selling other shit. And then eventually I was just like, my boy started selling like weight of it. And I would just buy a shit ton from him because I was buying from him every day. And then I had other people that would ask for it. So I was like, oh, let me just buy a bundle. Keep some for myself, and I'll sell most of this.
It's basically like people on TikTok shop going through like Alibaba.
Exactly.
You were just on the street TikTok shop.
Yeah. Fucking. Are we good?
Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. I just like to check.
Yeah. So like I was like, this is so much cheaper, and now I'm making money off of it. And then I got to the point where I started getting so many customers that, I was making probably like $8,000 a week.
Oh gosh.
And I had like a 700, whatever. I would do a gram a day of heroin. I'd sniff a gram.
Whoa.
A gram costing me anywhere between 60 and 80. So we'd just say about like 70.
Yeah.
A gram. And whatever that time. So I was my habit was like $500 a week.
Yeah.
So a month I was spending $2,000 on heroin. But I was selling so much that it didn't matter.
Those were some good returns.
Yeah. Dude, I was like making $8,000 a week, but I looked like a crackhead with nice clothes.
Yeah.
And in a car.
Isn't
but
it
you
how
could
it
look
goes?
at me and just like, oh, this guy's on drugs.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I was like, nah, man, I got a fresh Yankee cap on. Then I think I'm on drugs.
What was your nicest car?
I had a G35 Infiniti. I had an older Mercedes once, but I ended up crashing it. And then the Infiniti got impounded by the police. And then I found out years later I could have got it back, but my lawyer kind of fucked me over. And then they tried to sell me the car back.
No way.
I was like, no, fuck no.
I'm not doing a deal with the government.
Yeah. I ran from the cops. Like I had coke in the car and I couldn't find it while he was pulling me over. So I panicked, and once he got out of the squad car, I just took off. Like
On
so
foot.
I pulled over.
Yeah.
No, I took off in my car. He got out of his
Grand
car
Theft
as soon as I heard that door shut.
Yeah.
Because I never put the car in park.
Yeah.
I just kept my foot on the brakes.
Yeah.
And as soon as I heard his door, I just sped off and just started. I was in my neighborhood, so I just kind of dipping and dodging, and then I just parked my car in a dead end and like walked home. And they ended up knocking at my door at like it's probably like an hour later. No, probably like 2 hours later. And they were like, yo, why'd you run from us? I was like, what are you talking about? I was home this whole time.
Prove
sleeping.
it.
And I was like, where's my car? I'm like looking around. Where the fuck is my car? And
I was just sleeping.
Yeah, what's going on, man? Why's my car not outside? And so I just played dumb, and they took me to the precinct, which is a felony. Like it's like fleeing from an officer.
Yeah, that sounds like a felony.
Misdemeanor. Sorry, it was a misdemeanor.
It's a misdemeanor to
Yeah,
run
fleeing.
from the cops?
Yeah.
Huh, the more you know.
It was a misdemeanor, and then I'm sitting in the precinct for a couple hours, and I'm like, all right, just waiting for them to give me a bail. And then, this is not the first time it happened where I'm thinking I'm in there for a misdemeanor, and they're like, no, there's no bail. You, the guy, all I hear is like something, like a taser going off.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, dude, they're about to fuck me up right now. And then he walks in with this stun gun that I bought from Alabama that was in my car in a box that I completely forgot about. And like in my head, he goes like, oh, what are you doing with this? I was like, I got it from a gas station. Not knowing that it's illegal. I should have been like, that's not mine.
Yeah.
But I was just like, what the hell? I bought that in a gas station in Alabama. And he goes like, okay. And he walks out. He leaves the room again, and he comes back in, and he's just like, yeah, it's a felony because you have a felony on your record, and it bumps up this misdemeanor weapons possession into a felony. Wow. So they're like, oh, your bail's $5,000. So I'm just like, fuck. Like, I'm in school at this time. This is when I was going to Suffolk County Community College. And I make it to jail, and I'm like, all right, I'll wait the 7 days. I'm like, instead of wasting, spending the $5,000, I was like, I'll wait the 7 days. They're probably not going to ROR me. They're probably not going to indict me, and I'll just get out in 7 days, and then I'll fight the case. But like 4 days in to me being in jail, I talked to my lawyer, and he's like, yeah, I think they're going to go and indict you. So if I was you, I would bail out now because if they indict you, your bail's going to go up.
Yeah.
So then I ended up bailing out, and then I just fought it in the streets for like 2 years where I was just adjourning every month.
Yeah.
And eventually, like, I was going with like letters from like teachers from school and shit. I made Dean's List twice. I showed them that. I showed them my grades. I'm like, look, man, straight A's.
I'm a good guy.
I'm a good guy now. I'm not in trouble. Like,
my professors love me.
Yeah. Like, I know I'm going to fucking for TV and radio, but still, I'm fucking thriving. So they ended up just giving me like 30 days for that. And since I had like 4 days in the jail and the arrest date counts as one, so I had 5 days credited, and out of 30 days you do 20. So I literally just went in for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like I waited until after I graduated.
Yeah.
And I just went in at the end of the summer. I'm like, let's go.
It's like a girl's version of like rich girls that just get overwhelmed by life, so they go to like one of those nice rehabs where it's like, for 2 weeks they just, eat smoothies and don't drink and meditate and go to like group therapy sessions. You did, where are you from?
Long Island.
You did the Long Island version of that.
Oh no, that is the Long Island version. That's every
Truly.
white girl in Long Island. Yeah. There's so many people. Like I've been into rehab like once. It was like a 4-week thing. I only made it to 2 weeks. And the insurance was I was only supposed to be there for 3 because insurance will only cover 3.
At least you don't need insurance in prison.
Yeah. Oh no, you get better health care in jail than you do in the streets.
Yeah.
Like there's like a rap bar. Jadakiss goes. He's like, I know people that go to jail. He doesn't say people. He says the N-word. I know people that go to jail just to get their teeth fixed, and that is 100%
makes sense.
true.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, oh, you find a lump on your body, and you're like, let me commit some crimes. And
let me go stab somebody real quick.
And I'll
Make
go
it to
get
prison.
this checked out.
Yeah, go get a mammogram.
Yeah. No, truly, like I'm in debt. Well, I was in debt before, but I got into further debt because I had a root canal. I should have thought about that.
Isn't that bad for you, a root canal?
I mean, having a rotted tooth, I think, is worse.
Because they say they just pull the whole shit out. They say
I know.
root canals cause cancer. I don't know why. I don't know. Everything causes cancer. This causes cancer.
Yeah, cheers, man. Like
diet cancer.
What the fuck am I supposed to do? Everything is cancer. The lean cuisine meals that I used to eat, because they're low cal, those have cancer-causing chemicals in it. Like
every microwave food is fucking dangerous.
Yeah, all the food in prison probably is
honestly,
just cancer.
I feel like most of like the jail food now is probably healthier than like the shit we eat at fast food spot. It won't taste as good, but it's probably like healthier.
You're probably right about that. Because their food's like probably regulated coming in.
Yeah.
Truly.
There was like they would get chicken. There was like chicken Fridays, right? And you just get kind of like a breast and a drumstick, like one big piece.
Like Colonel Sanders or like grilled?
It's no, they bake it.
Just baked.
Yeah, baked chicken. And like we got a box once, and one of it said not for human consumption. It was, It was to feed alligators.
What?
Yes, and that's what they were giving the people in prison. It's a lot of canned food. Everything you make in jail is in big vats.
Yeah.
So it's stuff like a lot of pastas. They make rice, but that's like for people with special diets, like white rice.
Yeah.
Flavorless white rice. And that's, again, for like certain people with restricted diets. But a lot of slops.
Yeah.
Like where they'll make, it looks like a chicken pot pie, the inside of it. And then you just get that. But it's like almost like the, you know how it's like, it's almost like a vanilla pudding when it's in like a chicken pot pie. It almost looks like vanilla pudding, that consistency.
Yeah, like milky and damn.
This was more like almost like a watered down version of that.
Yeah, like almost clear.
Yeah.
Like a viscous.
Yeah. And then that's the only time you get white rice. Like as a regular, they'll put the white rice on and they'll just put that slop on top of it, which is just like chunks of like this cubed turkey.
Yeah.
That you could tell is just processed. It just looks disgusting.
Oof.
And like, you know, some like canned carrots and celery and shit like that. It's disgusting.
And you just ate it because you were hungry.
You have no choice.
Yeah, you
had
to eat
no choice.
If you like couldn't stomach it or like didn't want to eat it, just left it, like would you get in trouble for not eating your plate?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. We've done like hunger strikes sometimes because one time we got the chicken was raw. It was like just pink raw, like, and everybody put their tray back on the cart and we're like, we're not eating. And if you ever want to get a point across or talk to somebody, that's what you do. Because
power in numbers.
Yeah, they have to feed you.
Yeah.
And if the food cart goes back, it raises flags and all this stuff. So like we would do that sometimes. It's just like, they took the TV from us for like 3 days. And it's like, we're not gonna eat.
Yeah.
Everybody, and you'll have that one person like, man, fuck that, I'm gonna eat anyway. And like, you're gonna eat, but we're gonna fuck you up afterwards.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
and the toilets are public, so you might want to rethink that.
Yeah, we're gonna fucking we're gonna make you eat your own shit.
Truly.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, wait. I just want to go back real quick. So you had that, 2 weeks in jail, and then you went to jail for like a longer period of time. You were in jail for almost 2 years.
Yeah. That was my last one. I did 2 county bullets, run concurrent.
Okay.
Run consecutively.
Yeah.
So I finished out of basically once one finished, I just kept doing the other year.
Where were you?
Yaphank, New York, out in Long Island.
Yaphank.
Suffolk County, Long Island.
Was it a far drive for your family? Like, could your family visit you?
No, it was actually close. It was like a 20-minute drive.
Nice. Couldn't be more convenient.
Yeah. And still like just 2 people visited me, and I have a huge family. And it was just like my mom and my daughter's mother, and then my siblings would come here and there, my father. And then it's just like, and I'm like looking at, like, I resented the shit out of my family. Like, oh, fuck you guys. I'm going to be a big comedian. I didn't even start comedy yet, but I'm like, I'm going to make it big someday in something, and I'm going to fucking forget about you guys.
Yeah, right. I'm sure. They're just like, just stop doing drugs, Geo. Just stop doing drugs. Were you the only person in your family doing drugs?
I had a few uncles that I heard, did coke back in the day and do stuff
but not
like
like drug addict.
Yeah, not like where I was going to rehab, looking sick and shit like that. Yeah. It was not a lot of people. I'm like the black sheep on both sides of my family.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't the first one to go to jail. Like I had uncles get arrested, but it was like light stuff. My father did some time in the feds, but that's just because he worked at a chop shop and he didn't know. Like he just first got to this country, he knew how to work on cars, and they're like, all right, you can change oil and tires. Yeah. And it was just a
casualty of war.
Yeah, so they took everybody. So he sat in there for like 9 months. But besides that, like little arrests,
heavy price to pay. But yeah, damn. Okay, all right. I just want to get the timeline clear, because you're talking about hunger strikes. It's like you were in jail for 2 weeks. No, 2 years. Like what's the difference between jail and prison? You never been in prison, right?
Never been to prison. No.
Yeah, were you close to prison?
Yeah, actually, when they were trying to give me 2 years in jail, I was like, no, I'd rather do a year in prison. But with the amount of time I had in, I would just go to this reception jail and probably just leave from there.
Right.
Like they give you like your state number and they're like, all right, you're released. And then I would have been on parole for a year, which I was like, I can handle that.
Yeah. It sounds like you're ready to get your life together a little bit.
Yeah, but I didn't. At first.
Nice.
I still came home and fucked up again.
Yeah.
Life threw me a curveball, and then I just said, fuck it. And that was the first time I relapsed on purpose.
On purpose.
Yeah, I would always relapse because my mind would trick me into it. Like, oh, you can do it this weekend.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably, just treat yourself one time.
Yeah,
and then that
totally.
turns into another 8-month binge. And this was the first time I said, nah, fuck this. My life sucks. I came home to nothing, and then just bought some dope
Yeah.
right up to. I already knew who to call. I was
Yeah.
just like, I had this number saved just in case.
That's the thing. Like when you're getting off of drugs, especially at the level you were doing, you just have to change your number because you have to lose all your little black books.
Oh, I had to change my address. I had to leave the state.
Yeah.
I changed everything.
I had to change my identity.
Yeah, I went on like a witness protection program on myself.
No way.
That's why I moved to Alabama for 3 years.
Whoa.
I didn't plan 3 years. After I had relapsed and my parents noticed, and I was like, I already lost the job that I had when I came home.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting home getting high all day. And then my father just comes and talks to me. He's like, yo, listen, man. And my father's never talked to me like this. He's like, listen. He's like, you're fucking up again. He's like, why don't you move down to Alabama? And my aunt offered me this when I first came home. And I was like, nah, I'm going to work on things with my daughter's mother. And, it's going to be all right. And then I found out that she was seeing somebody else after the first year. And when I came home, oh yeah, bro, I lost like 60 pounds of that jail weight in a month, and that was before I relapsed.
Yeah.
Like I used to make fun of people like, I can't eat, I can't sleep. I'm like, that's fake. That's not real. Like that doesn't happen. And then I just remember like realizing that I was like, damn, man, I wish I would have just found out in jail. You know what I mean? Like I come home all happy, like, yeah, I'm about to start my life over. And life was like, nope.
Yeah.
Back to your mother's house. And I was just like, fuck, what am I going to do? And I just said, fuck it, I'm going to relapse. I'm like, I don't care. I was working with people who had shit, and I was just like, can you give me a bag?
Yeah.
And then once I relapsed, my father gives me the talk, and he was like willing to help me. He's like, listen, I got this little, hoopty car, because he sells like cars and shit. He's like, I'll give you the car, and I'll drive you down to Alabama if you leave. He's like, but we got to leave soon.
Yeah.
And
Make
he was
the
like,
decision.
yeah. And then he was like, we'll leave Saturday. And I was already starting to withdraw, so I was like, no, let's leave tomorrow.
Yeah, you're
Let's
like, let's
leave
speed
now.
this up. Yeah.
So him and my uncle just fucking drove me down there. And I did have I took some Roxicet down there. I had 20 left. And I was just getting high all the way down. And I think I had like 25, I had like 30. I took 10 for the trip. And then I gave my cousin 20. And I was like, just give me these like once a day when I'm really bad, just to kind of get some sleep.
Portion control, if you will.
Yeah. And the next day I woke up, I'm like, nah, just give me all. I'm just going to quit cold turkey. And I was like, the junkie brain.
Yeah.
And I like convinced myself like, oh no, it'll be great. But the thing was, there was a time where I was on Suboxone, like through
I've
a
heard
doctor.
of Suboxone.
So I was on it for almost like a year. And I Googled Suboxone withdrawals, and every comment was bad. Like, it's worse than heroin. It's longer. It's more painful. And I was like, oh, fuck this shit. I'm going to go back to doing pills.
Yeah.
So I was doing pills, and, right before I went down there, and the fucking withdrawals were insane. I was going through withdrawals for like 4 weeks.
Damn.
So imagine having COVID for a whole month.
Yeah. Oh,
like
God.
the worst part of COVID.
Yeah.
Because like usually, like with heroin, you'll be sick for maybe like 4 days where it's bad, and then you're still kind of readjusting for a couple months, but you get through the worst part in the first week. It was not that. Like I remember I was up for like 5 days at a time, and then I finally get some sleep, and then not sleep again for 3 days. Like I wasn't even able to move. I remember we would go to Walmart and I'd be on the cart because all my I was like 125 pounds.
Oh my God.
And I'm just on this little scooter just going around because my knees hurt.
And you're like in your 20s?
Yeah, I was like mid-20s at that point, 27 maybe or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, Geo.
Yeah.
That's
and
crazy.
that's when I started comedy.
Yeah, thank God for that. Yeah, in Alabama you started. That's right. Damn, that's quite the story. Okay, I want to go back to the jail food real quick.
Yes.
So, my favorite thing about jail food is the commissary.
Yes.
And the fun snacks that can be created. So take me through that. What were some of the concoctions? And let the listeners know what a commissary is. So
commissary is just basically a store. It's not some places have an actual store where you go, like some prisons that have that. But it's just like, some inmates and one cop putting a bunch of things in a bag that they deliver to your dorm. So where I was at, it was like that. You order on the computer before it was a sheet. And then you could just get stuff like, like Lay's chips, ramen noodles, those like rice you can make in a bag just by adding hot water, ring dings. Like, it was very limited what I was at. Like, if you go to Rikers, it's fucking different
Hot
types of
Cheetos,
Doritos,
yeah.
different like flavors of ramen noodles, like the fucking 25-cent ones.
Yeah.
And that was gold in there because you could only get 2 in order.
Damn.
You
Why?
can only get 2 bags of rice because people would just get too many.
Oh, okay.
And it's very limited. So there's certain things that sell a lot that they try to they'll try to.
It's an inventory issue, right?
Yeah. Which like you go to McDonald's, like, all right, only 2 McRibs.
Yeah.
We only have a certain amount, and so the best part about that is the type of stuff people create with that.
Yes.
Right, because like it was called cook up. So this is the only option you have if you don't want to eat the jail food.
Right.
But you only have so much food, so
Yeah.
you're eventually gonna have to eat some of it.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that comes on the cart. But they would take the bag rice, right, and then they'll crush up a ramen noodles, throw it in the bag, and then they'll be making a sauce on the side. And they'll take the little cup, they'll add like whatever condiments you can get.
Yep.
So like you'll save up your ketchup packets, mayo packets. You get this cheese spread on commissary that's just like, you know, the cheese from the Ritz crackers that you dip in? Like
that you eat with the little red.
Yeah, with the red spoon.
Yeah.
It's just basically a jar of that. Oh my God. So you just whip that up. So you have the
God.
cheese, and then you add like milk. If you have seasoning from the kitchen, you can throw some seasoning on that. And they make like this, like almost like a dressing sauce or whatever. And then at the same time, you'll have, while the rice is, cooking in the hot water, you take like those Jimmy Dean summer sausages.
Okay.
That are just kind of cooked already. And they'll just dump that in a cup of hot water.
Yep.
And let that cook.
Get them warm through.
They'll take the Slim Jims, but it's not the actual Slim Jims. It's like some, those bodega ones.
Yeah.
And then you just cut that up into little chunks. And then when the sausage is nice and hot, you cut that up into little pieces. And then you'll throw that in. They'll have like a garbage bag that they'll open up, a fresh one, obviously. And they'll put it on top of the table with a towel. So, because it's metal tables and it's going to,
hot.
it's gonna like absorb the heat from it.
Yes. Okay.
So it stays warm. They put a towel, an open garbage bag, and then they just dump all the shit onto the bag, and then just mix it up.
Like a crawfish boil.
Yeah. That's literally what it is. It's just
Yeah.
a boil, but with rice,
Ramen.
sausage, ramen, Slim Jims. Sometimes people they'll keep like the relish packages, and it's whatever. It's just like, but it's always the rice, the noodles, and the sausage, and then you take the seasoning from the soup that you saved, the little silver packets, and then you throw that on top. It's a little
gourmet.
best. I want to make, like, one day I want to make it on video and show people how to make it.
You need to.
Yeah.
That is a
so
web
good.
series, dude. I'm sure. Hell yeah, that could be like a. What's your podcast? 20
On the Gate.
On the Gate.
Yeah.
I was thinking of your show. Yeah, that could be like an On the Gate segment.
Yeah. Subscribe to Gas Digital using promo code OTG. We get money. If you're already signed up to Gas Digital, unsubscribe and then resubscribe using that promo code so we can get a little kickback.
They won't know the difference, man.
They might know, and we might get shit for it, but who cares?
Hey, come on. Do it for the love of the game.
I'm stepping on everybody's toes that's at Gas Digital.
I like that. We're like Gas Digital here. I have bottled water and Diet Cokes.
Yes,
man.
you just need the Slim Jims. You
I
need the
just
little
need
mini
Slim
Slim Jims
Jims.
and the pistachio ones and some little cans of Pringles.
Hell yeah. We'll get there. Hopefully we'll get to the point of not recording in my apartment.
Oh, that's the move, man. We've been there. We were just talking about it today. We went through like 5 places. Like, we was at this place, Too Much Content. You remember that?
Oh, I remember them.
We was there for 20 episodes, and then once that was over, they had to move. We went to Karen Feehan's.
Okay.
So we were recording at Only Feehan Studio
Oh, all right. Yeah, that makes sense.
for I think like 2 episodes. Then we had to go all the way to Staten Island to record at Pat Samaha's house.
Oh, shit.
And we couldn't even get guests because we're like, we can't. It's like offensive to be like, hey, you want to drive into? You want to take a ferry to go do a podcast that you're not gonna pay for?
Yeah.
So it was just me and Derek for a couple episodes, and then we got the offer not the offer, but Lewis was like, hey, you can use the studio.
Nice.
Just pay the producer. And then we were there for like a year, and all of a sudden they did like a business restructure.
Of course.
And they're like, all right, this is not a charity, this is a business.
Yeah.
And then we got into a little heated water because we started mentioning something that happened between Derek Drescher and Dylan Negri.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
there was about to be a fight in the studio.
Oh, gosh.
So
I love the drama.
So we used that as an excuse of why we got that email that they're going to start charging, which was just a bit, but we have ADHD and we jumped to the next thing without saying, like, we're just fucking around. Everybody got that email. It's not just us.
Right.
So people took it to heart and just started blasting Lewis and Gas Digital on Twitter. Like, oh, you fucking kicking out OTG for Dylan Negri. Fuck. And that whole universe hates Dylan Negri. If you don't know who he is, it doesn't matter, you know. But they all hate him. He's just like, you know, the villain.
Right.
So they were just like pissed off. And some people who didn't even watch the podcast was like, yo, I've never seen this podcast, but Dylan sucks. Fuck you guys. And it was like Lewis called, like texted me, called me, and I'm like, oh, fuck.
This was such a mistake of like just a bit gone too far unintentionally.
Yes. Oh yeah,
like
man.
totally unintentionally.
So we talked about it with Luis J. Gomez, and we smoothed it over, and then there was a misunderstanding 2 weeks later, and we was just like, okay, we're not welcome here, and we went and recorded at Pat Samha's new place in Brooklyn. We did one episode, and I knew people were going to be watching it and like trying to, you know, take shit from it.
Yeah.
And Derek wanted to go in, and I'm like, nah, just because we're not there, let's not fucking make these guys our enemies.
Absolutely
you know what
not.
I mean? Like they're still, like they're OGs in what we want to do. Like they paved the way for us,
and they're supportive,
and they let us use it for the studio for a year for free.
Yeah.
Like that's a fucking huge favor. Like this shit would have just went to the wind if he didn't give us that opportunity.
Yeah.
And we grew just from us using it there. But Derek was still pissed off, and he goes like, my co-defendant told me not to talk about the situation, but I will say one thing about the tweet. The truth lies in the middle. And Lewis just fucking went off. The next morning, 7 o'clock, I wake up to this big paragraph. He's like, you disloyal. And I was like, fuck, what did I do? Now he's mad at me. I'm like, I don't want this guy mad at me. And we ended up talking it over, and then a couple weeks later, like a month later, he's like, hey, man, I'm going to sign you guys.
Hell yeah.
So it was a roller coaster.
It was a roller coaster.
So with all that being said, unsubscribe to all the other podcasts and subscribe to On the Gate. Or
Hell yeah.
just check out the podcast.
Use code OTG.
OTG.
At gasdigital.com.
Oh, can I tell you about the dessert hookup
please.
that they have? So they'll take, so you can get like a Snickers, you get M&Ms, you get a coffee cake, like a Drake's coffee cake, and then ring dings. And people will make cakes out of that, like a whole other cake.
Damn.
So they'll take like the cinnamon crumbs off the coffee cake, they'll take the frosting off of the ring ding, and then they'll take like the sponge cake part of it, throw it in the garbage bag, pour milk on it, and then just mush it together.
Ooh,
right?
Innovative.
And they make it into like kind of like this log, right? Where it looks like a big Twinkie.
Yeah.
And they'll take M&Ms and a Snicker, chop it up, and put it in like this like an empty peanut butter jar, and then just run that under the hot water, and it melts it all. So then they'll take that, pour it on top of the new cake mix that they made.
It's like a sauce.
Yeah, it's just like a little drip on top. And then they have crushed up M&Ms, just like crushed up into little pieces. Like, so you got the peanuts and the chocolate, and then they'll sprinkle that on top. And it's one of the best fucking cakes you'll ever eat in your life.
Okay.
Amazing.
Never mind a web series. Like, there's going to be a Netflix show where X and Meats are doing this.
Yeah.
Or Ex-Convicts.
It's already on TikTok, and it's doing big on TikTok.
Yeah.
I saw a guy do hibachi on TikTok. And I was just
on the
like,
metal tables.
no, there's people that have done that. Like they have a metal table in their room,
With
and this
what
guy would make
utensils?
pies.
It's prison. No one can have weapons.
Bro, they'll find ways. They're cutting like sausages with their like ID cards and stuff like that. Like what we would do is we get this like this kind of thick plastic spoon, like a reusable one, and people will bend the top like back and forth.
Yeah.
And you know how like the bottom of the spoon it kind of curves a little bit. It when you break it off, it has like the two edges on the side. It's just like almost like it looks like a razor, like a shaving razor, like where it just kind of loops out, and then you have like these two pointy things, and that could be used as a shank or to cut your sausage for.
Because that's what shank was my first thought.
That's a shank. Like if you get caught with a spoon like that,
you're
getting put in a box, you get
like,
a weapons charge, all that stuff.
But I'm just the dorm chef.
I'm just the cook-up guy.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to use that on somebody. Guy. There's like blood on one side, some sausage on the other.
That's a strawberry jam reduction I made earlier.
That's from the jam and peanut butter. Yeah. Don't worry about that.
Oh, so creative. People are so creative.
Oh, dude, I learned how to light a cigarette with just 2 batteries and steel wool.
2 batteries and steel wool.
So like
you're basically
SOS
a Boy Scout.
Yeah.
You're literally a Boy Scout. So it's like you could either go to the Boy Scouts or you could go to prison. People should get badges. From prison.
Yeah. Like here's your making a lighter out of
Here's your
a
shank
wall
badge.
outlet. Yeah, there's your shank badge. There's your rape badge.
Your ramen crawfish badge.
This is your bakery badge. This is a cook-up badge. Yeah.
Your what is it? Your protest badge when you all decide you're not going to eat the
Your
raw
hunger
chicken.
strike. Hunger strike. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Instead, no, you just get demerits on your record or go to the box.
Or a new charge in the box. And the box is fun, man, because that's where the show we used to have 23-1 came from. Because box, you're in yourself for 23 hours, and you come out for half an hour. So it's not even an hour.
It's not even an hour.
So you have 30 minutes to use the phone and shower in that time.
I can imagine what those phone calls are like.
They're terrible. 15. Well, before we would, they would hack. It was like kind of payphone.
Yeah.
So it would be like you're making collect calls to people.
Yeah.
And people figured out how to use those long distance calling cards, like Boss and like the stuff that like Indians used to call, back home. And they would you hack the phone where like when they ask you your name, you just have to fill that timing up with a noise. So it doesn't matter what you say, like so you just have to say something from beginning to end, and then you hit like pound 4 times, like and then all of a sudden you hear this click come on, and then you put the card number and the pin in like back to back.
Yeah.
And then it'll be like, you have 5 hours. And then they'll just keep that, and then you could just call anybody.
Nice.
Instead of it being a collect call where, they're going to get charged like $1.50 a minute.
Right.
And people would just kind of get in on a card. Like, yo, I got a 5-hour card. Me, you, like you make time slots.
Yeah.
And then somebody else puts in a card and they have time slots.
And if you fuck with the time slots, that's when the shank gets involved.
And the Bloods always, like the gangs always had one phone and they had another phone for everybody else.
How did you know where to go?
Because it would say Bloodline on the thing. They would like write in pen, like Bloodline.
It was labeled.
Yeah, it was labeled. Yeah, it was just a bunch of gang. Oh, you just knew. Like that left phone right there.
Yeah.
You don't touch it unless a blood dude says it's okay.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, the poor guy that doesn't have a clue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I've seen it.
yeah. That's why I would not survive, because I'd be so oblivious.
Yeah, and the thing was, like, the first time I got locked up, I was like 16, and I had to learn a lot the hard way.
Yeah, at least you had the body to bounce back from whatever those punishments were.
They were bad. I've got jumped a few times. I remember one time a guy took my paperwork, crumpled it up, and threw it in my face. And then I tried to mush him because he was in his cell.
Yeah.
And he ended up grabbing my sleeve. And he was a blood dude. And he would have fucked me up just by himself if he would have been out. And then 4 of his boys, while he's holding on to my arm, were just like punching the shit out of me. And I'm just sitting there.
Protect yourself. Yeah. Geo,
I fought a lot.
What a life you've lived,
fought a
man.
lot.
What a life.
I miss fighting. I'm not going to lie.
Really?
The actual fighting sucks. But like after how you feel, you're just like, oh, dude, like it's just like a weight off your shoulders. Like,
Yeah.
it's a release.
Yeah.
That's why I get like you have like some UFC guys are just all calm and shit. It's like, oh, they could they take the anger out in different ways.
Hopefully just like not on their wives.
Yeah, I mean sometimes
or
that
on
does
like,
happen. A
so-
civilian.
Yeah, civilian. That's what
civilian.
Yeah.
I could beat you, Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
You
It's
ain't
like,
shit.
You're like poking a literal bear. What was I gonna ask you? Do you ever like
Do I miss jail? Yeah, sometimes. No, I'm just
No, I mean that is a good question. But I feel like lifers like miss jail. Not lifers, but like people that have been in for like 10 years and now they're out and they're like, I gotta get back.
Yeah.
Like, this is all I know. I don't know how to not eat,
Dude, because it's a sweet deal if you think about it, right? You get three hot meals a day.
Yeah.
You got commissary. You got a job. You got programs. You can play basketball every day. You can lift weights every day.
learn a skill.
You learn a skill. You can read. You get smarter. You're eating healthier. You're living healthier. I mean, there are people doing drugs in jail.
Yeah,
you
and
know.
it also because there's also a way to get drugs. Did you get drugs in jail?
Oh yeah, I've been to the box because I brought in weed. And
How did you think you were gonna get weed?
No, I got it in. But the thing was,
then they found you out.
They found me out because I was getting trained. I was in reception for a couple of days where it's just 23-1 until they put you in the right classification.
Is that when you're like jumpsuit color?
No, you wear the same shit.
Same shit.
Same
That's
shit
just in
throughout
the
the jail.
movies.
Yeah, it's just the movies. Yeah. They don't do the well. Every jail's different. Where I was at, it was just like nurse scrubs, but green.
Yeah.
And it said FCCF on the back.
Mm.
But like when you go in, it wasn't like that when I started. You get your classification right away.
Yeah.
Like before you even go up. But they stopped doing that. They're like, all right, let's keep some of these guys, in here. We're gonna see if they're, withdrawing and stuff like that. It was mainly for the junkies because like, we're just sending this guy who's about to withdraw from heroin into a dangerous dorm right now.
Yeah.
And the guy's just gonna be sick.
It's gonna be like a wet noodle.
Yeah, and he's just gonna be food. It's open. This is fresh fish.
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Open season.
Yeah, and so I was in there, and I was like, oh fuck it. I took a balloon out. I had like one with matches and one with weed, and I'm just smoking while I'm in reception. And one day I'm taking a nap, and I had it kind of like stashed right next to my bed in case they were coming in. I could just take it with me. But they're like, yo, roll up. You're going to another jail. So I just kind of grab it. I didn't really have time to kind of like fix it up to put it in my butt or swallow it.
Yeah.
So I just kind of put it in my dick hole of my underwear.
Yeah.
Like where that
little
little
flap.
space is, the flap, like there's almost a pocket that goes under. Like it goes to your gooch. Is that called the gooch? The gooch stash. So it's the gooch stash, and I had it tucked in there, and I get moved to the jail. And while I remember in the bus, somebody's like, "Yo, somebody got that loud." I'm like, "Oh shit!"
Like gooch is not concealing this
I'm
cloud.
like, this thing is reeking. It was sour diesel too.
Yeah.
New York sour,
Oh,
so that
it's
shit
good
was
shit.
just reeking. And I go, I'm in the lobby of the new jail, and I'm walking by a guard, and he goes like, "Somebody got weed on him." So I walked to the fucking, they put us all in the bullpen, and then they were going one by one, taking everybody and strip searching them. So they take us to the showers. I'm in the showers. I take all my clothes off. I'm butt-ass naked. They make me lift my sack. I got to squat, drop, and shake my tail feather or whatever.
Yeah.
And I get up, and because, when I walked into the shower, one of the cop goes, "Oh, it's this guy."
Yeah.
And once I got naked and they didn't find anything, they're like, "Oh, okay." And they're like, "What happened to
You're
the
like
weed?"
a magician.
I was just like, "Yo, I smoked before I went into jail. Like,
Yeah.
I got weed on me." And they're like, "All right." And then the guy, like, I'm picking up my clothes, and the guy just he picks up my underwear to pass it to me, and all of a sudden
Like,
he
don't
goes
help
like,
me, you bastard.
but he picks up the underwear, that fucking weirdo, not my pants, not my shoes.
I would never want to touch someone.
He goes right for the underwear.
Maybe he knew.
Maybe. But he picks it up to pass it to me, and when he goes to pass it to me, and he goes, "Hold on a second," and I guess he felt it.
Yeah.
And he goes and he digs his hand in, takes it out, and like, "Oh, we got him."
Oh,
But it was
victory.
only one of the 26 balloons I had inside my body.
Damn. Okay, how good are you at putting stuff up your butt?
You eat it.
You eat it?
You eat it going in. You take little water balloons.
Mm-hmm.
And you grind up the weed, take out all the stems, whatever. So it's just fucking almost a powder. Then you take a bunch of Booker matches. You cut the matches in half.
Okay, half
you,
size.
You tape them up, and then you take the striker off, like you just peel it off, and you roll it around the matches. And then you stick that in a balloon, tie it, and then you just eat them.
So how many balloons? So you had, how many did you say was in your body?
I was probably like 28.
28.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was probably like a gram in each one. I took in an ounce.
What is like passing those?
So you got to put a plastic bag, a garbage bag. You open it up on the toilet, like and
this is going to be the
shit
one
on the bag. Yeah. Well, yeah, you got to look right away.
Yeah.
So you
This
just
is why
shit
the
in a bag.
shitting is public.
Yeah.
In prison because of this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I got put in a dry cell once for that. But let me tell you, so you shit on the bag, and then you just take a like one of those plastic gloves from the food cart. The guy that serves the food. You ask for one of those, and you just go through your shit.
Yeah.
Take the balloons out. Wash them off. Take what you need, and either put them back up your butt or swallow them.
Yeah.
But at that point, I'm putting it up my butt.
Oh, absolutely.
Once I shit it through, I can't eat it again.
No double dipping.
Yeah.
No double dipping.
Double dipping, yeah, because it's the
Absolutely
same
not.
balloon.
Come
But so
on.
you just kind of put them
Yeah.
in. But they're like little M&M size.
Yeah,
because it's just
tiny.
little, and you just kind of
Have
just.
you ever I'm sure you've lost count of how many are coming out of you. Where you're like, oh, I guess a balloon burst in my stomach.
Oh, that's happened
Or
to me
in
after
my-
getting pulled over though. And I
Yeah.
just ate the Coke, but it's in a regular sandwich bag.
Oh, forget it.
And then
then you're
I'll
just like,
shit out the bag.
Yeah.
And it's just like a hole in it with a little bit of
forget
melted
it.
Coke. Yeah.
The Coke is so precarious. I
Yeah.
mean, you can't have it on a table without,
you have it in the summertime and it's humid. And
exactly.
It's going to shit.
Yeah, exactly. So forget about the digestive system. That's gonna.
Dude, I had to put 20 grams of coke in my ass one time.
Damn, Geo.
Because I was driving and this is when I sold like wholesale coke.
Yeah.
And
You just got to be about that putting shit in your ass life when you sell.
Yeah, because it's either you're gonna put something else up your ass, or you're gonna do it yourself, or somebody else is gonna do it for you in jail.
Truly,
Somebody gonna put
I
something
would
up your ass in
much
jail.
prefer the drugs.
Yeah, and a cop gets behind me, and I panic, and I just fucking go from the front and just jam it up in there. And I just felt like the sharpest pain ever. Like it was just like I remember like it hurt for like almost like 2 days.
Oh, I don't mean to laugh.
Because there was no lube, no nothing.
No.
I just went in and it just raped myself.
No, truly, like no.
Yeah, nothing.
No pre-care.
And this is not powdered. It's like like fish scale
it's
rocks. And actually, sorry, it's rocks, but it's in little. I would take a sandwich bag, like the cheap ones.
Yeah.
And I would put a gram in the corner. I twist it up, tie it in a little ass knot, and then just cut the tip off. People who did coke hated that because they want a bag they could close and put that.
Yeah.
Well, my coke was so good because I wouldn't touch it. I
Yeah.
would just sell it how I got it, so they didn't care.
Yeah.
Some people just I get my own bag.
Yeah. I'll supply my own bag because
I'd
that's
rather take
also
this.
a pretty good indicator that you're not fucking with the supply too much because
Mm-hmm.
it's just like this is what you're getting.
Yeah, like crackheads will buy my coke because they could cook it up and
Yeah.
make good crack.
Yeah.
And so I had like 20 of those in another sandwich bag. So it was almost like a fat
so
little
it was
carrot.
Like, okay, it was just like we're
a bag
going
of bags.
bag of bags. All
And
right,
just-
I'm
I had
able
to
to
jam it
picture
in there. The lights go off while I'm fucking doing this shit. And I got it in. I pull over. He goes right past me. So I did all that for
It
nothing.
was like relief, but also,
Yeah.
oh my god!
And
I have
then,
to call some ex-girlfriends and apologize.
dude, when I pulled over, it was right next to a gas station. I went into that gas station and sat on the toilet for probably like 5 minutes trying to push it out. And I was just like getting lightheaded because I'm like,
Yeah, like I cannot go to the hospital for this.
yeah. And then like when it came out, sorry to get graphic, there was blood all over the
I would
bag.
imagine you ripped up your
And-
asshole.
Yeah, and I was just wiping blood from my ass.
Yeah.
And then I'm telling my boy that. He's like, dude, you don't put it in your ass until you know you're getting pulled over.
I mean,
And you should have waited. But I was like, yo, I panicked. I didn't think. And I was just like, fuck, this is a
and you
shit
have
ton
like
of coke.
seconds to spare. Like you can't be sitting here wondering, all right, how's this gonna turn out?
Yeah.
You acted on instinct.
Yeah, I had more than half ounce on me. I was doing that's like I think that's an A felony. At that
Yeah,
point. A
you
or
would've
B
been away
felony.
for a
So it's
long
just like I'm
time.
doing at least a 1 to 3.
Yeah, it's worth.
Especially with my record.
Yeah. Damn, dude. Do you suffer from hemorrhoids?
I think I got hemorrhoids once after that.
That would imagine. That's
Yeah.
like trauma to your asshole.
Nah, but I think I had hemorrhoids once a couple years ago, but that never happened. And then
Unrelated.
somebody told me you get hemorrhoids from jail, not from the ass rape, but because you're constantly sitting on metal benches. Nothing's padded.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
you're always on a metal bench
Yeah,
all the
that makes
time.
sense.
And I have no ass.
Yeah, you
So
little
I
bony
think
boy.
I got hemorrhoids from that.
Yeah. Also, the toilet paper is probably sandpaper.
Oh yeah, the toilet
That's
paper
gonna give you
sucks.
That's gonna
It's-
give you hemorrhoids.
Yeah, toilet paper sucks in there. It's just shitting in there in general is terrible.
Oh.
Because no matter where you're at in jail, somebody's seeing you take a shit.
Yeah.
No matter what type of minimum security, you're in this
cell with,
open dorm with like 60
Open
people. It's like
dorm,
almost
okay.
like a gym with a bunch of bunk beds, and
Yeah,
then
okay.
the bathroom is just kind of like a couple urinals right here, and then toilets side by side with a divider that's probably like this high.
Right. Oof.
And like what they would do is they would put like old bed sheets up and
Uh-huh.
then cups of water on top of it to hold up the sheets.
Yeah.
And that's your cover. But like everybody sees you from the shoulders up, just sitting there, just
It's
reading,
like one step above an outhouse because it's inside.
reading Ink magazine or something.
Yeah.
And it's just, and you walk in there at any time, you're just smelling shit
Yeah.
constantly. A lot of people there don't shower,
Oh.
and the women's dorms is worse.
Oh, I cannot
Oh, my
imagine.
God.
With what happened, like menstruation and no. Oh God,
There's
that's
just like
terrifying.
60 women in a dorm, all on their
Yeah.
period.
I'm disgusting if I'm left alone by myself. Like if Joe, honestly, not even when Joe's gone, but if I'm really left to my own devices and I'm sitting here rotting, like I don't have to leave the house. I'm not booked. I'm like
Yeah.
just sitting at my computer, like working whatever. I personally can get disgusting. Never mind when like 60 women are together.
Doing that.
Oof.
Yeah.
Gosh, yeah. It can get pretty smoky.
Yeah, the men
You
dorms
won't be
are
able to
cleaner.
find weed though.
No.
And not in a women's prison.
No, you will.
The smell's
It's
so
easier.
overpowering.
Oh yeah. I just smell. Dude, like the men's dorm where like people go mop the floor around the guards like
Yeah.
booth or whatever, so they won't smell it. And then they'll have the one shower running and a guy in there spraying aftershave from commissary with hot water.
Yeah.
So they make like this cologne. They'll just be spraying it in the air.
Yeah.
While another guy just keeps mopping by the fucking
Yeah.
security booth while 4 people are jammed in a shower stall smoking K2 or something.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh God, smoking
The
K2
first
in
time
prison.
I smoked K2 in jail it was horrible, but it became fun after I stopped getting paranoid, because I go in, I'm smoking with the guy that brought it in.
K2 spice, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
spice.
Oh
And
no.
the guy was like, "Yo," he tried to like charge me for it, and then like the Latin King dudes was like, "Nah, he's smoking for free." And then the guy's like, "All right, you can take 2 hits." And like in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna take more than 2 hits.
And he's like, no, you're not.
Yeah, so I take it. He's like, "Yo, you hit it first." So I took 2 hits, and then it went around, and before it even got back to me, I was just gone.
Yeah.
I was like, "What the fuck is this shit?" And they'll tell me, "Don't hold it in too long." I held it in,
Yeah.
and then I was like, "Yo, I don't even want this." And as soon as they were done, like they smoked as quick as possible because you got to be
Yeah.
in and
It's
out.
not, you're not chilling.
Yeah, it's not like it's just babysitting and
Outside
shit.
the stand,
Oh,
like
shit,
passing a J.
oh shit, they're about to do their punch.
Yeah.
But as soon as that happened, like they all walked out the shower all at once, and I got paranoid. I was like, "Fuck! If I walk out with them, that's mad suspect.
Yeah.
Let me stay in here for a couple more seconds." And then I was like, "Fuck! I'm gonna walk out the shower fully dressed with no towel or soap in my hand." And I stayed in there for a little bit, and then I remember just walking out, like not trying to look at the security booth. I'm like, and then I remember just going to the sink, washing my hands, washing my face. And then the whole time after that, I'm just walking around the dorm. I'm like, "Yo, you think they're going to run in here now? You think they're going to run in here?" And then everybody's like, "Yo, Jib, just calm down. Just
Yeah.
like go sit and watch TV and relax." But I was still so paranoid. And then after like a half hour, I realized, like, all right, they're not coming. I just sat in my bed and just watched TV for hours, and it felt amazing. It felt like a
Damn.
weed high.
Wow.
But at first, I had that paranoia. I was just like super anxious.
Yeah.
And not a great feeling when you're in jail. It feels
No,
like
no.
everything. Like I live with the cops.
No, like they're your roommates essentially and your bosses. And
When I first started smoking weed, like I would smoke at my house, and I would look at my window like every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, "Oh shit, is my mom coming home?"
how old were you?
Oh,
Like
shit.
14?
Yeah, like 14. I was like, "Oh, yo, the cops coming? Damn,
Yeah.
somebody smelled this."
Yeah.
I'd get super paranoid.
It also was when back in the day when weed was not.
Not legal at all. Like I've gotten locked. I've been to the precinct a few times for weed.
Yeah.
It happened a few times, and I remember one time I smoked. I had my daughter's mother send me weed to Alabama. This is the first. One of the times I lived down. I went down there once in 2010 for like 3 months to clean up, and then 2016, and I ended up there till 2019. But one of the times I was out there, I had my daughter's mother. No, I think it was the first time. Sorry. I should have took the edible. I realize it's kicking in right now.
You're
My
great.
brain,
No,
I'm
no,
all
you're
over
good.
the
You're
place
good.
like fucking bird shit. And I go to I call my daughter's mother, and I'm like, "Yo, send me an eighth. My boy's gonna give you some weed. Mail it to me overnight, because I'm like, I need some weed." And she and I tell her what to do. I'm like, "All right, good." And then the package gets there the next day. I open it up. It's a bar of Irish Springs in a box, and I'm like, "Why would she send a bar of soap overnight?"
Yeah.
Like, I told her to get a teddy bear with a gift, and you stuff it in
Yeah.
the teddy bear. And I open it, and the bar soap is cut in half, and there's nothing in there. There's no weed in there. And I'm like, fuck.
The postman took it.
Somebody at the post office took it, or
Yeah.
a delivery guy, and they just was like, "Oh, we'll take the weed, send them the bar soap.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is not a lot of weight, whatever. We're not going to
Mhm.
bother." But in my mind, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, this is my aunt's house. She's letting me stay down here to get my shit together, and now the feds are going to raid
Yeah.
the house over an eighth. So after I couldn't get the weed, like after I realized I didn't have the weed, I went to this college down the block and just found these 2 random black kids. I was like, "Oh man, you can get some bud." he's like looking at me. He's like smoking a black and mild. He's like, brings me into his dorm, fucking sells me like a quarter of some bullshit like regs like covered in seeds. But at that time, I didn't smoke.
When you have nothing.
Yeah, I was just like, yo, I fucking got so high, I threw out the rest of the weed that I bought. Like, I smoked once and then threw the rest of the quarter into the toilet and flushed it because I was like, fuck, what if the cops are coming for that? Got paranoid and flushed it all down the toilet and then regretted because then I went back to do like 3 days later and go again.
Like, okay, well, I'm over this anxiety. We're going to be fine. No one's come. I won't ask her to do that again.
Yeah.
Totally. I know that's that's the thing. Like, when it comes to drugs being sent through the mail, don't do it.
Don't do
obviously. It. But I mean,
unless it's Kratom.
Unless it's Kratom.
Yo, Kratom. Use promo code OTG. No, we're not there yet.
But like, the postman's just gonna take it, or whoever.
Yeah.
You know, delivery guy's just gonna take it. So.
But they closed it back up. That was the best part. Is they closed it back up and it's just like, here, dickhead.
Yeah.
And it was some good weed too, man. Like, my boy smoked some fucking fire.
Damn.
And I was so disappointed.
Know. This area of weed, like, that's not Alabama weed, man.
No, I grew up in New York, I started smoking late 90s. I think like 99 was the first year I smoked. And the type of weed we had back then is even like the regular shit with seeds in it is better than like some of the regs that you see now. But now they have all this chemical, you know, like genetically modified weed that's just like, oh, this is not good for your brain.
Yeah.
That's why I had to cut back on smoke. I took an edible today, but like I cut back smoking a lot because I'm like, this is burning me the fuck out.
The edible that you took, was it one that came like through like someone's kitchen, or was it like, you know, you into
homemade 50 milligrams? It might be 79.
Yeah, no, it's that, like, that's what I'm saying. It's so scary, the homemade stuff. Like, I'll take a homemade edible when it's like I'm hunkered down,
right?
No one's gonna ask me to do a spot because like I don't know what's in here. But edibles from, like, you know, the nice New York City dispensaries, like the barrier to entry to weed has definitely gone down over the years.
Oh, doing comedy on edibles is the worst thing.
Oh my God, it's hell. I could not.
If I can't stay on script, if it's not a crowd that's just gonna enjoy me doing straight material, and I have to like improvise or something, it's gonna be bad.
Bad, so bad.
Like, I'll ask a question, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, like,
nothing back,
cool.
like just terrible crowd work.
Just not doing your job entirely.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, let me get back into this joke.
Yeah, totally. Something I wanted to ask is, the inmates kind of run the asylum, essentially. You know, everyone does their job, whatever. So, fellow prisoners are working in the kitchen. What about like knives getting out of the kitchen area, like?
Well, I think you go through metal detectors when you come back from the kitchen, and most of the knives are like those steel zip line, whatever. Like, it's just like on a metal rope to the table. So like you're not getting that off.
And like you don't really.
Not every inmate could touch that. Like, I was allowed to touch that because I lied, and I was like, yeah, I have restaurant experience. Like, I was a busboy when I was 14, but like, yeah, I worked in the kitchen as prep. I was like, I cut lettuce maybe once or twice.
Yeah.
But I've watched enough Food Network where I was just like, and I would cook myself at home. So I ended up cooking for the guards.
Oh, shit.
So I worked under civilian cook, so I didn't have to do that other shit that everybody else was doing. I just go hang out in the back, eat fucking great food right when it's fresh.
Yeah.
And
it's like basically the green room of the jail, of the kitchen.
It's like getting 30 spots from a club.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like people envy you.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this guy doesn't have to fucking, sit at a dishwashing machine and throw
those guards past him. God,
2,500 trays through a dishwashing machine all day, or scrub pots.
Oof.
Like huge pots. You're just scrubbing all day. That's what everybody starts off at, is the pots. And you work your way up to something else. That's a test. They're like, oh, let's see if this guy's gonna make it. And people quit. Just like, I'm not doing this shit.
They can't scrub the pots?
No. Like,
I'd be like, put me on pot duty. I don't want to bother anybody. I'll sit and scrub.
Dude, I was like a social climber in jail. I'm like, I'm gonna work my way up into the juice man. Where you just work two shifts and then you sit around the rest of the day.
Damn.
And then you got the connection on ice, because you just send extra ice to the dorm.
Shit.
And then they'll be waiting there, and they'll just dump it out into a mop bucket with a garbage bag, and then you just put your milk and juices in there.
Oh, that's how you.
Have a nice
You
cold,
have a nice little mini fridge.
yeah, you got a mini fridge under a rolling one too. You can roll it around. It's a moving fridge.
Tell you what, I don't got a rolling mini fridge.
Because nothing's worse than lukewarm milk.
No. Oh, God, lukewarm anything.
Some people keep it in their toilets. I swear to God. They'll keep it in the toilets because the toilet water was like ice cold.
Ice cold, yeah.
And
That just gave me
yeah.
the chills.
Yeah, I know. I stopped doing that when I realized. I was like, this is soaking through the carton of milk.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, because it's not even plastic. It's
it's carton. And
yeah.
some people would like jam a pencil top into like the button, under the button. So it's just running water, and they'll just place their milk under that water. So by the time you open it late at night to eat your, your little famous Amos cookies, you got
snack.
Yeah, and then you got your little nice cold carton of milk.
Yeah. Living the
Like
life.
a child. Like it's literally the ones you get in school.
Yeah.
But it's like the pink. It's like low fat.
Yeah.
You don't get the whole milk.
Yeah.
You get like the 2%.
They don't want you guys getting too big and strong in prison. You know, you can beat up each other better. Got to give them the low fat.
Yeah, you gotta keep them skinny.
Yeah, totally.
And sterile.
No, I used to work at a state facility. I worked at this place that's now closed. It was called Woodbridge Developmental Center, and it was for mentally and physically handicapped adults. They came in as kids. It's real sad, whatever. And they all lived there, and it was ran like a state facility, and prisons are state facilities, you know. And
how was the food there?
Not
mediocre.
It wasn't prison food.
Yeah,
it wasn't prison food, and I wasn't eating it, you know. But you know, mostly Ensure when I think about it, because everybody had a feeding tube. But just like the milk cartons you're describing and some of the snacks, I'm like, oh yeah, Woodbridge had that.
Yeah, I mean, school food and jail food is not that far off.
Yeah, it sounds extremely similar to
you
like
get them in
a
the tray
public
with the
school
little
cafeteria.
dividers and stuff.
Yeah.
This one's just more rubbery. It's like that silicone rubber.
Because you don't want to be able to.
Beat people with it.
Yeah.
Because they had metal trays before. They stopped giving that to people.
I would imagine. Talk about a weapon, man.
Yeah. It was just a circular metal plate, and they stopped that, and they had them in the kitchen. Yeah, dude. I've seen somebody throw it at somebody's head in the kitchen once because they still had the plates in the kitchen. They just wouldn't use it.
Right.
And the guy just grabbed it and chucked it at a guy he was arguing with.
Did he get hurt?
Nah, he missed him.
Whoa.
But yeah, the guy, he was on the pots, and he's arguing with the guy who was making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and he just grabs the metal plate and just went like this, and the guy moved out the way in time.
Oh my God.
And it just hit the wall, and the guard gets up, like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Get the fuck out of here. Sent both of them back.
Yeah.
But only one of them got kicked out the kitchen.
Yeah. That sounds like if it connected, it could have been some Final Destination type shit.
Oh, just hit him in the head?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Ooh.
He's getting out with a feeding tube.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's going to be on a plug after that.
Ooh, shit. Were the guards helping facilitate bringing drugs in, or is that only in the movies?
No, that's more like Rikers and like
that's
certain,
like more like okay.
Like I was in Long Island, and you know most of the guards are white. Mm-hmm. A lot of them are racist. Mm-hmm. A lot of them are cops who couldn't pass the psychological test. They wanted to be cops, right? And they tried out. They did the police test. They failed the psychological part, and they're like, all right, fuck it, I'll be a guard.
Not a hard test to pass. So
it's like, how long can you put your knee on a black man's neck?
No,
and they're
truly, like you're
I think
really
no more than 15. Is it 20? Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's truly not that hard to go through the psychological portion. So they're really giving the finest.
Yeah,
these
are people who like they're under a cop, but they're right above like a mall cop.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? They have too much ego to be a mall cop. So like, I would rather work in a jail.
Yeah, yeah. There's also like when you walk into a prison, it's a different set of rules, set of laws. Not actually, but like figuratively, like blood use this phone, And so when you're a cop in that situation, you probably feel like you're walking into like your version of a war zone or like a community that's like always in like the red zone of like
you always got to be on point in jail.
Yeah.
Like if you Like sometimes you'll slip up. I've seen people slip up and get hit, sucker punched and stuff like that, because it's very mentally exhausting to be gangster 24/7.
I would imagine you're always on.
Everything's a test. Everything. Somebody's always gonna test you.
There's always a riddle.
Yeah, like unless they see that you fight or you have a reputation, people are going to test you.
So if you try to be like a quiet guy, you're gonna get like.
Yeah, you better be connected to the right gang.
Yeah.
And even them, like, they're gonna test you.
Yeah.
Because if something goes off and they see they're gonna see how you react. And if you're not willing to put in work, you just become food to them too. Where they look at it like, what, go hang out with the Muslims,
Right.
If you want to be peaceful.
Right. Okay.
So that's like there's very little options.
Yeah. So that makes sense. So in terms of hierarchy, it was like the gangs, like the affiliated
Gangs
people.
ran everything.
Gangs ran everything. Yeah. Okay.
It was like if you went to a dorm and it was just like some regular guy who has a family and he's running the cart, then you're like, oh, this is a soft tier. Like this is almost protective custody. Like this is a sweet place to be in.
Yeah.
And then you go to those ones where you have like, the gangs is like, all right, the Bloods are doing the lunch cart and the Latin Kings are doing breakfast and then the Nietas are doing dinner or whatever. Right. And like that all depended on how your people were going to eat during that meal. So it's just like, oh, the Latin Kings run breakfast. I'm like, I'm going to get a couple extra, French toast sticks on Saturday.
Yeah.
And some syrup. Because syrup is gold in there. Yeah. You get syrup once a week. They send these big fucking like gallons of syrup. They'll send 2 to each dorm, and they'll just pour a little bit in each tray, and then just put the rest in old like bottles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like that's your sugar for the week. If you want to, put it in your coffee, that's sugar, because you don't get sugar in there because you can make alcohol.
Oh, right. And that there would be some fresh prison wine happening.
I've had some toilet wine before,
yeah.
bro. They use the mop bucket. They use the mop bucket
versatile.
with two bags. They'll throw in the juice you get in breakfast, which is either it's a acidic one, so it'll be like grapefruit, apple juice, and orange juice. And they'll dump all that in.
Red, white, rosé.
Yeah. They'll throw in lifesavers, like the sweet ones for sugar. And then they'll take half a loaf of bread, like it's still in the bag, poke holes in it, and then dump it into the thing and let it sit in that. And then they'll just burp it every now and then when the bag gets too big.
Right.
Like let it air out. And then after like 2 weeks, it just becomes like, it tastes like orange juice with nail polish in it. Nail polish remover. That's what it tastes like. And it fucks you up because you don't know the alcohol content of that.
No.
You could be drinking like...
Talk about a homemade
180 edible. Proof. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've gotten fucked up. And you got like cut up apples and oranges in there too.
Sangria.
Yeah. It's like a sangria. It's like a jail sangria.
Jail sangria.
But it's orange. It's an orange
Geo,
sangria.
you have got... You know how like Mark Norman and Sam Morril have Bodega Cat, Tom and Segura and Bert just, put out a vodka. You have got to put out a jail-themed sangria.
I'd call it toilet wine.
Toilet wine? Okay,
It'd be like the liquid death version for wine.
For wine.
Yeah. And call it
Specifically
toilet
wine.
And people are like, toilet? Who the fuck is going to... It's marketing because it's like, that sounds disgusting, but it has
Especially
a nice ring
because
to
like wine is something that like I think you think girls like, oh, my girls and I are going to get wine. It's like if I'm a dude and I'm going to a Super Bowl party, I'm going to bring a bottle of toilet wine.
Yeah. And I'll make sure all the alcohol is brewed in prisons to save on labor costs.
Yes.
And just pay them 13 cents an hour.
Slave labor, no big deal.
Yeah, give them some money for commissary.
Yeah.
Like, hey, it's $20 a week. You got modern day slavery, and then you just have it. So it's just like straight from the source.
But it has to be sold.
Organic toilet wine.
It can only be sold
in black neighborhoods. Yes, I like where you're going with this, because that's great. Only in black neighborhoods it will be.
And then once it gets to Williamsburg, it won't be cool anymore.
No, we can't.
No, I was gonna say it can only be sold in those giant like Carlo Rossi jugs.
What do you mean?
You know Carlo Rossi, how it's sold in those big glass jugs?
Yes.
Only in those.
Yes, with 3 X's on it.
Yes,
like the cartoons,
yes.
And then just toilet wine under it.
Toilet wine.
Triple X toilet wine.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that would be
Use
so
code GTO.
yeah,
or whatever the fuck it is.
Use promo code toilet wine.
Oh, gosh. Okay, last question. What was your first meal out of prison when you were done for the last time? Do you remember? Was it significant?
I think pussy. I ate pussy. That was the first thing I ate. I swear to God. I took my baby mother home and I was just like, yo, let's do this. It's been 2 years. No, I think I might have had a Dominican breakfast.
What's that?
At fried eggs, fried salami, fried cheese, all greasy food.
Yeah.
Missed that. With mashed up plantains, mango. I had a Dominican breakfast, and I had wings that day. Even though I ate wings in jail, I was like, I still wanted like street wings.
Yeah, of course.
And then Dominican rice beans and chicken.
Yeah.
That day.
Nice. And were you like, sweet freedom, like this tastes amazing?
Yeah. I only said that when I was eating on my baby mother. Everything else was just like, because I was still eating good in the kitchen, but it wasn't that home cooked.
No, I mean, come on, it's not the same. It's not the same.
Dude, your shits, that first shit, when your body's adjusting to like outside food,
I can imagine.
is horrendous. It's like a smell you never smelled before.
Yeah,
it's
I can
like
imagine.
For like the first 2-3 days, and that's why maybe jail food is unhealthy. I don't know. Or it's just that whatever they're putting in the shit that makes people sterile is like leaving your body.
Yeah.
And it leaves a horrible like rancid smell.
Your body is getting acclimated to now no longer being in
freedom.
prison.
Your
to freedom.
stomach is getting used to freedom.
Yeah, that's the smell,
the smell
of freedom.
Yeah, that's the name of the episode. Smell of freedom.
Smell of freedom. Oh my God! It sounds like was it worse than shitting out the bag of Hard Rock cocaine?
I think they were equally bad.
Equally bad. There you go. Wow.
Because both the smells, like moist coke that was in an ass with a little hint of blood, is not a great smell.
That irony.
Yeah, and then my butthole's all open, so I'm smelling my insides.
Yeah.
Like I was like scared. I was like, if I had a cell phone, I probably would have took a picture.
Like,
if I had a gaper, this is like if I was gaping. Did I gape?
You could have sold that online.
Yeah.
Truly.
I have an OnlyFans now where I just stick drugs in my ass, and I'm pretty sure I can make money.
You're leaving money on the table not doing that. Are you kidding?
I might do that for Gas Digital.
Hell yeah. I mean, anything for Gas Digital.
Yeah, a coke butt plug.
Yeah. Another product idea.
That's good for merch.
Yeah.
OTG anal plugs.
Hell yeah.
And I'm like, you can stash your drugs in
it.
It's a secret compartment.
Yes.
And you put it up your butt.
Please.
And it's like, oh, this is an anal plug, officer. You want to take it out?
Come on.
Yeah.
Sorry. Don't kink shame me, officer.
I'm going to write that down. I'm going to text Derek right now. Anal plug stash boxes.
Anal plug stash boxes.
Yeah. I'm going to just text it. Anal plug stash box for merch.
You heard it here on the I Feel Fat Today podcast. This is where it was
making
birthed.
it happen.
This is where it was birthed.
Yeah.
I love that. Geo, you have been a fantastic guest. So fucking interesting. So cool. You're one of the coolest people I know. We started comedy around the same time.
Yes.
2018, right?
Old times.
Hell yeah.
I moved out here 2019.
2019.
I started 2018, but I moved to New York 2019.
Nice. Amazing. Yeah. Where can people find you?
Follow me on Instagram, Geo Perez 86. Same thing on X if you use that. Subscribe to our I was gonna say OnlyFans. Subscribe to our YouTube On the Gate podcast. And if you're a fan of comedy podcasts, sign up for Gas Digital. You have people like Godfrey on it. You have Legion of Skanks, The Left First Show, a bunch of great shows. The thing is, you get a whole Mike Bingsby if you're a UFC fan. You got a whole bunch of great podcasts you could check out. Uncensored, that's if you want to see us go wild, because now our YouTube stuff is going to be censored, so it's not going to be as funny.
Yeah.
But that's where we let loose on that one. And if you use promo code OTG, we get like $3, so help us out.
You can also see Joe Gorman. He's been on the podcast. He does Real Ass Podcasts sometimes.
One of our greatest guests.
Yeah,
he's
done On the Gate.
You hear that, Joe? You need to do On the Gate again.
He'd be glad to. He does Real Ass Podcast a bunch. So if you subscribe to Gas Digital, you can check out the uncensored version of that. And yeah. All right, guys. Until next Friday. Bye.
Peace.